adjusting to the food habits of another person. For instance, new year, new fashion. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. This is Usla's Roses. Happy New Year 2025. Okay, so just want to share some good stuff. So last year, which is just a couple of months ago, I was able to lose so much weight, at least 15 kilos, about 15 kilos, which is over 30 pounds, right? About 40 pounds or so. And I just want to share with you guys how I lost all this weight, because some people have been asking me, some people have been in my DMs on WhatsApp and stuff trying to ask for tips, and so I just thought to make a video and share. First of all, I stopped eating like a pig. Yes, I stopped eating like a pig. So I stopped eating like a pig before I even enrolled into a program that taught me how to work out. The first thing I did was stop eating like a pig. I tried to do intermittent fasting. I just really watched what I was putting in my mouth. To be honest, before I started, I was about 95 kilos. Went to the hospital for a regular checkup, stood on the scale, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I was so scared, went down from the scale, took off my shoes, went on the scale again like something was going to change, and this is how the nurse was looking at me. I felt so stupid. And so, long story short, I stopped eating like a pig. I was just eating anything, and part of the reason why I was eating anyhow was because I was really stressed. I was in a season of my life when I was really stressed. I didn't like where I was. I didn't like the direction of my life was going. In fact, I didn't like my environment. That's just brief. I was in an environment, in a place where I didn't like, so it caused me to just, I was also on a toxic job, in an environment that I didn't like, and on a toxic job. I had been gaining weight gradually, but the last 6-7 months, from 2023 until maybe mid-2024 was the breaking point for me. From ending 2023 until mid-2024 was just the breaking point for me. I added at least 15 kilos. I was already too big. And this is just so that you know, I had never been, before 2021, I had never been bigger than 65 kilos. So to move from 65 to about 95 is like adding 1/3 of your weight, and that's so much. So I stopped eating anyhow. I did intermittent fasting. I worked on my diet. I tried to count calories, even though I didn't really count calories, but I tried to replace junk food with healthy options. So if I liked eating like burgers or stuff, I stopped it. Some things I just completely eradicated. I love eating rice, so I limited the quantity of rice that I was eating, or the quantity of other things that are high in carbs that I was eating. So I watched everything that went into my mouth. I became very careful. I also rested so much. For a couple of months, I didn't work. I stopped working, and I just focused on rest. I was really stressed, like I said. I needed to rest. I have put my body through some levels of stress that are not okay, and I have come to figure out that when I am highly stressed, I put on a lot of weight. So one of the things I did was to stop working where I was working, take a couple of steps back, and just really sleeping. Also, where I used to work, apart from me being toxic, I would travel like an hour and a half or almost 2 hours to and fro every day. That was a total of about 3 to 4 hours of travel time, and I felt like, and that was just really just draining me, because you have to wake up very early, add 4 hours to a normal work day, the number of hours that you work every day, to give you. So and I concluded that I would never ever put myself through that. Put myself through working or living so far from work. Now I'm in a different space, in a different point in my life. I have options, by the grace of God. I know I have options right now, and I will have options in the future. But a couple of months ago, I didn't have all those options. So while I was in the hallway, or the Lord was preparing me for where He was taking me and the things He wanted me to do, I was struggling, mentally, handling school, working full-time, studying full-time, being a wife full-time. All of that is not easy. And it just comes, it just, yeah. So that was it. Stop eating junk, rested a lot. Also try to reduce screen time, even though that was not very effective, because I was also doing a lot of research for a lot of other things where I want to be in this season. So, but also I made some effort to reduce screen time. I would not be on my phone. I would not, sorry, I would not choose screen time over rest. If I feel tired, turn off the phone or just put the phone away and sleep. And I have really been able to sleep for a couple of months, and I really feel rejuvenated, if that's even the right word. So stop eating junk and watch my meals, watch what I put in my mouth, try to count calories. If I ate this in the morning and I shouldn't add this to it, and just really controlling what I ate, and I was very effective with that. Reduce stress and rest a lot. So reduce my stressful schedules, like really cut out a lot of things, stop working for a while. Well, I just had to, and add rest to the schedule. Rested a lot, and traveled a little bit too. That was also relaxing, and slept. All these things just sound like, wow, they don't sound like they make sense, but these are actually strategies that you can do to, you can use to lose weight. Do you know that stress accounts for a lot of weight gain in so many people? Like, when I'm very stressed, I start to either lose weight or gain weight in a very bad way. And I knew that the reason why I was getting weight like that is because my head space was not clear. So apart from working on my meals, I needed to rest. I needed it, and that worked for me. To be honest, I enrolled in a weight loss program and I was supposed to lose like 5 kilos a month. It never worked out. I would lose just about 3 kilos. And the reason why this was because of all the equipment that we're supposed to buy. We're supposed to buy a food scale, like a scale to measure how much food you're eating every day. And I did not buy that scale. For some reason, I just didn't buy the scale. I thought I could figure it out, but it turns out that was one of the most important things that I needed. And I was just not weighing my food. Excuse me. So because I was not weighing my food, I think I was eating more than the required amount based on the weight loss program. And so now I know better, and if I have to continue, I know what to do. So losing 15 kilos or at about 40 pounds was such a milestone for me. And if you have been able to move from 95 to 80, then you can look yourself in the mirror and say, listen, I look good, I feel good, and I think that I have what it takes to move from 80 to 65 kilos back. And that's my goal for this year, 2025. So yeah, now in more detail a little bit, I did meal prep. So I prepped my meals for the week. That reduced the amount of junk that I was exposed to. When I prep my meals, I put them in bowls and put them in the fridge for the whole week. I knew that, I have lunch. That reduced the temptation to buy junk food, or the temptation to buy roadside food, or the temptation to just go buy cookies or snacks or something that was really not healthy. So that's another tip that can really help you. I also want to say, adjusting to marriage was not the most easier, was not like easy. Okay, for traveling abroad first of all, and facing the stress of the abroad life, like working far away, studying far away from home, being away from your family, trying to adapt to a new reality and to a new life. All of those things were very stressful for me. Those are the things that made me to start gaining weight. I also lost a couple of people in my family, and that really stressed me out. It made me gain weight. But also adapting or adjusting to marriage was another thing for me that I was exposed to. When I prep my meals, I put them in bowls and put them in the fridge for the whole week. I knew that, I have lunch. That reduced the temptation to buy junk food, or the temptation to buy roadside food, or the temptation to just go buy cookies or snacks or something that was really not healthy. So that's another tip that can really help you. I also want to say, adjusting to marriage was not the most easier, was not like easy. Okay, for traveling abroad first of all, and facing the stress of the abroad life, like working far away, studying far away from home, being away from your family, trying to adapt to a new reality and to a new life. All of those things were very stressful for me. You know, those are the things that made me to start gaining weight. I also lost a couple of people in my family, and that really stressed me out. It made me gain weight. But also adapting or adjusting to marriage was another thing for me. Adjusting to marriage was everything, like adjusting to sharing my space with somebody, adjusting to sharing my life with somebody, adjusting to the food habits of another person. For instance, my husband likes bread. He will literally eat bread every single day, and we will always have bread in the house. And I was like, uncle, you just can't buy bread every day. Because when I've always been a person that eats healthy. And this is not me badging the brother. He just has his life, sure. That's what marriage is, right? Two people come together and you have to find a common ground. So my life has always been fruits, veggies. Come to my house, you will not meet any junk food. If you open my fridge, you will not see any junk food. I don't eat rice every day. I don't eat pasta every day. But those are things that my husband really likes, and we would have them home because he has not really adjusted to the way I eat. He has not adjusted to the way I eat. So one of the things early in my marriage and that I asked the Holy Spirit to help me was when I say I'm going to the supermarket to shop for food, and I come home and do this, like, there's no food in this house, and I'm like, what? Excuse me? Did you see all these things I bought? And it was frustrating me. And one day I asked the Holy Spirit, what does this man mean when he says there's no food in the house? And the Holy Spirit said to me, do you see how you do grocery shopping? You buy all this food, all these veggies, all these things. He doesn't eat those things. He's not a fan of fruits and veggies like that. Do you see when? And the Holy Spirit asked me, okay, there was a day I went for grocery shopping, and I came back, and he didn't think that there was enough thing. I had bought enough things, and I was like, are you kidding me? With all this full bag of food. And so I was like, Holy Spirit, you know, I resorted to asking the Holy Spirit to help me sometimes in marriage, right? And I was like, Holy Spirit, what does this dude mean? And the Holy Spirit was like, just take a good look at the bag that you bought groceries. And I looked at it, I was like, but cabbages, carrots, tomatoes, some fish, some meat. Sometimes he would not even eat red meat. He would be like, I don't eat meat. But then a couple of days he went to do his own grocery shopping, and he brought his bag, and the Holy Spirit was like, go check that bag out. And I was like, I checked his completely opposite things from the things I want to eat. And then the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, that's what he means when he says there's no food, because you guys like two different things. And that's why I say, if you want to do marriage, do it with the Lord, because if not, you can really get frustrated. So also my weight gain was from like adjusting to my new life, adjusting to living abroad, different cultures, different realities, and all of that, far away from home. Also losing some people back in my family that were very close to my heart. All of those stressed me. Adjusting to new marriage life, like living in the same house with somebody, sharing everything with this person, and sharing their food attitudes, like they want to eat rice every day from Sunday to Sunday, or pasta every day from Sunday to Sunday. And as much as you're a wife and you're trying to say like, listen, we can't eat like this, or that's my job, right? I'm a helpmate. Let's inculcate more veggies. Let's eat fruit. And it's been working, but it's not been like full force working. It's, it's making baby steps. But let's add some veggies. And if you don't like the veggies that I like, what veggies do you like? Because I really want you to have a vegetable rich diet. But all these things, like, and if you live abroad, you work full-time, study full-time, and I work full-time, you know that you don't always I didn't always have the energy to cook. Initially I used to do that. I used to always stock my fridge. You come to my house, one thing you'll find is food in my freezer full. But at some point I didn't always have the time to do that, and so it became very stressful. So part of my weight was, or the main reason why I was gaining weight was adjusting to my new life and then being on a stressful job. So I have been able to identify the reasons, and maybe you can identify the reasons why you're gaining weight. Sometimes it's a mental health issue for some people. They are not in the right headspace, they are not in the right mind space. If you are able to identify the root cause, then you can be able to eliminate the causes, and you can make those adjustments. For me, I was eating like a pig, like I already said, and I worked on that. My husband eats differently from me. We've had conversations about that, like he knows. Babe, please, you cannot buy bread 7 days a week, because I will never go to the supermarket and buy bread every day, like big loaves of bread every day. But guess what? If I see it in the house 7 days a week, I'm going to eat it, and it's going to make me look a way that I do not want to look. So we're having those conversations and we're all making baby steps, because it's a marriage, right? We are trying to meet each other in the middle, or like me just taking out the stress factors because I had the opportunity to take it out. If you can move jobs, you can change jobs, you know. If you feel like you can quit a couple of things, if it's a bad relationship you need to quit, you can quit. But just check, sometimes we are not only gaining weight because we are eating wrong, we are gaining weight because there are some mental issues or some background issues that we are dealing with that we've not handled like properly. So long story short, check your life, do a little introspection. And mind you, weight gain for me and for most other people doesn't only come when you eat wrong. It comes when you eat wrong, but it can also come when you're under excessive levels of stress, and those excessive levels of stress turn your life upside down and affect other aspects of your life. So let's quit talking. Let me quit talking. I like to talk a lot. So those are the things I did to lose the quantity of weight, or the amount of weight in kilos or in pounds I was able to lose. And yeah, we've come to the end of the video. Thank you guys for stopping by and for watching. If you are new here, thank you so much for coming to watch. If you're a returning subscriber, I love you. If you're new here, please do well to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys, love you.